Welcome to another 10-minute episode of Everything Sports with Aman and Evan. I'm your host, Evan Garber, and today I'm talking about the Warriors' woes and, of course, Draymond Green's indefinite suspension. Talking about how this team could possibly bounce back and be the team that it once was, or maybe it's time to ship off Draymond Green, ship off Klay Thompson, ship off Andrew Wiggins, and build a better team around Stephen Curry. But make sure to keep following us on all our platforms: YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, all social media platforms, so you don't miss out on any of our content. We got content every single day, so make sure to follow all of our platforms. But let's get right into it. The Warriors, of course, are off to a very, very bad start to this season. And then, of course, you have Draymond getting suspended indefinitely. Now, I'll talk about that first. I mean, it makes sense for sure. I probably was expecting a game amount like 10, 15, something like that. But I definitely think that this is the right move by the NBA. It's clear that Draymond does probably need some help. Keeps happening time in and time out. It's the second time he's been suspended already this season. I mean, it keeps happening over and over and over and over again. And as a Warriors fan, like I was looking the other way most of the time because Draymond has been a key part to our team. Of course, leading that offense, seemed like the primary ball handler most of the time to get Curry open. But of course, defensively, he's been absolute mastermind, leading the defense, being the anchor of the defense. But now that it's happened so many times now, of course, the chokehold on Rudy Gobert earlier in the season, and then now the elbow to the face on Yusuf Nurkic. It's really just getting way out of hand now. It's hard. It's impossible really to support him anymore. Um, I mean, I keep trying all I want, but I'm just gonna keep getting backlashed over and over again, and there's really no point in supporting him at this point, because although yes, he is having a very good season so far, he is a great defender. He is great playmaker. He's been shooting the three ball pretty well so far this season, uh, which has been a great sign for him. But you can't have this every single time. You can't keep having these ejections. You can't keep having these technical fouls, these flagrant fouls. It just hurts the team way too much, and we saw that the Warriors were really really frustrated last game. Of course, Draymond got ejected, and then you close in that game, and then you see Curry getting really pissed. You see Clay getting really pissed. This team is in complete shambles right now, and Draymond really isn't helping. Draymond usually he'd be the guy saying, "Okay, like let's get it together. Let's try to fix this team. Let's get back and figure out what's wrong and rally this team around him." But he hasn't really shown that spirit, that leading spirit so far this season. I feel like, and that's partially because he's not there half the time because he keeps getting ejected or suspended or whatever. But you definitely need him to get back to some sort of form. We'll see if the training does help with if he does get any help mentally. It feels like I think that's the problem so far. That he needs to fix. So we'll see if he gets any help from whatever training or whatever he's going through. But other than Draymond Green, like of course you have Andrew Wiggins, who's been a pretty big problem so far this season. One thing that people aren't talking about though is that he was out for a solid chunk of the season last year for what was a personal matter, and we never really found out what the personal matter is. And I feel like it could be messing with him mentally, honestly, because we saw that he was pretty poor around that time that he did have that family matter, whatever it was, personal matter. And then he came back and he looked pretty solid, of course, in the playoffs. But this season, he just looks back to that old Andrew Wiggins that we saw in Minnesota, that we saw for that tiny little time before he decided to stop playing basketball to take time for himself. Um, and I think that definitely could be something mentally going on with him. So I think that he might also need some sort of help mentally. I don't want to speak for him. I don't know for sure if that is the case, but it seems like that could be the case. He's not the same Andrew Wiggins that we saw, that the two-way Wiggins that we saw help the Warriors get that ring. So I think that Wiggins just needs some time for himself again. I think that he needs some sort of specialist to help him out mentally. I feel like that's what's going on. I don't think it's a skill issue at all. I think it's really a mentality issue at this point. And Klay Thompson, of course, he's not doing very well either. Um, I think he's just honestly just regression at this point. I don't think Clay's going on nothing going on mentally with him. I mean, he said that he's playing really trash, and I think that he can be able to fix his issues. I mean, he's still been hitting threes pretty well, but he's chucking up a lot of shots that are not very good shots most of the time, and he is breaking a lot. So I think that with time, Clay will get back to his form a little bit. But the one bright side of the Warriors over the season is the bench. The bench has been absolutely amazing. Of course, Chris Paul has been very, very good off the bench for the Warriors. He's been a great addition. Uh, and then, of course, the young guys, Jonathan Kuminga, he's been playing pretty well. 11.9 points per game throughout the season. Dario has been an absolutely great addition to this team. I didn't expect him to be this good, honestly, because I knew he was solid, but he's been a very, very solid piece of the bench, a stretch five, which definitely great next to Chris Paul, great next to Steph Curry when Steph Curry is on the court with Dario Saric, and even great for Podziemski too has been really, really good. Podziemski has been arguably one of the steals of the draft so far. He's been very, very, very solid off the bench, showing some really good flashes. Kind of like I wouldn't say it's like Steph Curry esque in any sense, but he's been an absolute dog out there. He's been giving it his all, and I think with the bench unit that he has around him, that's really why he's been able to play really well. Moses Moody, of course, he's been playing really well as well, and doing absolutely amazing on both sides of the ball, averaging 8.7 points per game. Podziemski, like you mentioned, averaging 8.1 points per game. Gary Payton, of course, he's out with injury, but once he's back, I mean, that just adds another spark to that bench that's really, really is carrying this team. Kevon Looney. I think Kevon Looney's honestly a bit of a problem too because yes, he is playing. I would say okay, but he's not the Looney that we saw in the playoffs. He's not the rebounding machine that we saw in the playoffs. He's not attacking the rim like he should be. I think that you definitely need him to attack the rim because all eyes are on Steph Curry right now. Wiggins not doing much. Clay's not doing much. Draymond, of course, can't stay on the court, but even on the court, he's doing okay. Looney's not. Looney can't do much on offense either. So I think if Clay, Wiggins, and Draymond can't fix their problems right now, Looney definitely needs to fix his problem and attack more because he showed some great flashes that if he can't attack the basket, he's gonna get a lot of points. He's gonna score a lot. He just really needs confidence to go to the basket, which of course is kind of hard when you know that Steph Curry's on your team. You're gonna try to get the ball to Steph Curry any chance you can, but Looney needs to attack the basket more to get pressure off Steph Curry, especially on those pick and rolls, because Curry's of course is just gonna try to shoot a three, and then if you're wide open, Looney, then go to the basket because you're gonna get an easy bucket more likely because center will probably go out and try to guard Steph as well, try to contest that 3-point shot. But I I don't really know if the Warriors should trade Clay and Draymond because I mean I don't know what value you're really gonna get out of them because right now they look pretty bad. Draymond, of course, has a suspension problem, and I think that any team would be kind of silly to pick him up at this point, unless they do. There is a first round pick attached to him. So, but even with first round pick and Draymond Green, like you're probably not gonna get much of anything that good. Although the value on the court might be there. Like of course, like I said, you have to deal with all those off the court issues. So I don't know if you get much there. And then Klay Thompson, of course, he's been okay so far this season. He's been solid. But I also think you need to attach a pick to him as well, especially considering that his contract does expire at the end of the season. So you really need to attach picks to do anything to get anything really good for them, which I think is kind of an issue. Although I did see a great point from Kenny Beecham, king of the fourth quarter. Shout out to him. But he said that like LeBron, you see LeBron, and you see that he's been putting pressure on the front office. He's been pressuring the front office to get a good team around him, which he's now has formed. It seems like the team obviously won the in-season tournament, and they could be title contenders just because LeBron is so damn good, and so is Anthony Davis. But I think that's what Curry needs to do. Curry needs to pressure the front office to do something, even though there might not be a great move out there. I don't know. But maybe they can find a good move. Maybe they can find something great for Klay Thompson and a first round pick, or Draymond Green and a first round pick, or even some young guys. Like I think they need to pressure the front office to get something done because you're wasting a prime Steph Curry right now. He's averaging 29 points a game. Like he's doing absolutely insane stuff. This window is closing very quickly for Steph Curry to win a championship. I think you need to try to maximize Steph Curry, maximize his absolute insane abilities, and try to win a championship. Try to build his contender around him, because right now it's not working, and I think you definitely need to make some trades in order to fix this team. But let me know your guys' thoughts down below. Let me know how you guys think what the Warriors. Let me know what you guys think the Warriors should do, and let me know your thoughts on the whole Draymond Green suspension, and of course the Warriors woes.